are actually those views of killing people. They get very uneasy when I challenge them on this point, and they have no solution to global population. They will never mention the word that is in their mind, and that is genocide. So I think we're dealing with some people who are chronically unbalanced, yet they have the power of the airwaves, and it's only a few conservative newspapers and television and radio networks that raise the contrary view, and raise it fearlessly.
Now, tell us about the website bravenewclimate.com. Is that a good site to visit to read your material, Doctor?
Well, there's many sites out there. Brave New Climate is one of the numerous sites. I'm fairly reticent to look at websites and blog sites because most of them are not edited, and blogs often are done by people who are a little bit unbalanced. I try to get my knowledge from reading literature that is refereed and has gone through the referee process. And we hear, with this current global warming hysteria, that there is no refereed literature out there saying the contrary view. Well, that's just rubbish. I have 2,311 footnotes in my book, Heaven and Earth. That is from the major literature like Science and Nature and the major journals. And if you dig deep into the scientific literature, there's a huge amount of contrary information. It just doesn't reach the airwaves. And the reason I put out the book, Heaven and Earth, was to start the debate and to give the average person the confidence that there is a huge amount of science out there that gives an absolutely and totally different view.
Well, Dr. Plimer, I'll tell you what shuts down your average yuppie who's part of the eugenics death cult known as modern environmentalism. I say, why were the ice caps on Mars getting smaller? And now that the sun has cooled off its activity the last few years, they're getting bigger again. Why are moons of Saturn and Jupiter that were frozen methane and other gases, why did they become liquid in areas? Is your SUV causing solar system-wide warming? And then you show them the evidence, and they go, oh, my gosh, obviously the sun is what heats things up, and the sun is a good thing. As you said during Roman times, kind of at the end of the last big warming period, was the Hyborian Maxim or whatever they call it, that you had grapes being grown in central England when you can't grow them there today. I mean, warming is a good thing, but regardless, they're trying to list carbon dioxide as a toxic waste, and I found that most adults don't know that plants breathe carbon dioxide, Doctor.
Well, that's very much the case, and for thousands of years, various civilizations have known that the sun is the bringer of life. The Egyptians had their sun gods. The Mayans and other groups in Central and Southern America had their sun gods. We have known that the sun drives photosynthesis. This is the process where we take carbon dioxide out of the air and put it into plants. Those plants we ultimately eat. Carbon dioxide is not a toxin. It's not a poison. It's not a pollutant. It is the key to life. None of us want pollution of the atmosphere, the soils, and the waterways by particles and dangerous chemicals. But carbon dioxide is plant food. It drives the world. Now, we can see that. You gave examples from in our solar system of global warming driven by the sun. We can look at other stars outside our solar system and look at those planets. And we also see that there's a change in the amount of energy that these stars give out, and that this gives us global warming in other solar systems. So, to me, it's absolutely bizarre that that great hot mass in the sky that we call the sun, that we ignore that as the driver of climate, because the sun has always been the driver of life, and, of course, the driver of climate.
Doctor, have you ever thought of the angle that there's a lot of serious environmental stuff that is going on, as you just said, a lot of toxic waste dumping, pollution, things like that, but that by making the whole environmental movement about carbon, it actually becomes a distraction from real environmental problems we have?
Oh, very much so. Look, it's put back the real environmental problems by at least 50 years, and that kills people.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, let's come back and talk more about the book and more about Hitler, the first big environmentalist. Stay with us. Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered.
Go to homegain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to homegain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange Home Gain Gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's homegain.com, HOMEGAIN.com. Check them out today.
Final segment, Jason Burmis for the next 3 hours when the show ends in about 10 minutes. He's going to be in studio here for 3 hours, and I'm going to be in the last 30 minutes or so with him. I never got into our Joker contest, the huge success of putting up these Obama posters everywhere. It's made Fox News, Associated Press. They're putting them up in Tokyo, Japan, Los Angeles, California. It's crazy, but Jason Burmis has got Webster Griffin Tarpley, the economist, on with him about the socialist government takeover of healthcare and the eugenicist Holdren. We're still on that coming up when this show ends. If your local station doesn't carry the show, it should. The Jason Burmis Info Warrior program, but you can all listen at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com. Okay, we got about 10 minutes left here in the show with Dr. Ian Plimer. Doctor, you talked about Hitler, the environmentalist, Hitler who had to clean the earth of the scourge of humanity. And we see all these other scientists and people and Ted Turner and Prince Philip. If you go to an elite cocktail party, you know, with even elite academia, they walk up and say, what do you think about the people bomb? I mean, when I was going to college, that was happening. Even the wannabe elites are into this. This really is their control freak religion. Can you elaborate more about what you discovered, what you cover in your book about their mindset? And then finally, we're beginning to gain ground, it appears to me, against them, and they are starting to throw fits and get more and more aggressive. How do you see them trying to shut us up, and how do you see this battle playing out?
Well, it was interesting, your opening piece of music there was from Wagner. Now, Richard Wagner was Hitler's great hero, and Wagner was involved in the 1848 revolution in Europe. He was actually banned. He was actually involved in a revolution against government, and that led to massive immigration of the intellectuals from Europe to countries like the United States, to Australia. Europe lost its great people due to that revolution that Wagner was in, and yet Hitler used Wagner, who had totally different ideas, as his hero. And the interesting thing was that Hitler was also a vegetarian.